Let us pray. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of all our hearts be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, our strength and our Redeemer. Amen. Please be seated. Before I share my sermon today, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of Bishop Melissa Skelton. I'm so happy. This seems like a surprise to us that I have known Bishop Melissa over emails, and on behalf of the Asian American Ministry in the United States and all of us who came all the way here, we would like to extend our heartfelt appreciation and thanksgiving to God for Bishop Melissa and all the Diocese of New Westminster for their graciousness and generosity in hosting us in the first historic EAM ACAM Filipino convocation. And thanks to all of you, clergy and faithful of St. Michael Multicultural Anglican Church, for hosting us, and of course for the love that you share with us in even helping us with subsidizing these events. So thank you, Greg, and all the vestry, and of course the peerless Wilmer, our vicar here. Thank you so much. The Archbishop was testing the microphone, and he was fidgeting it like this, and then he murmured, "There's something wrong with this mic." And the people said, "And also with you." Three ministers went fishing, one Anglican, one Lutheran, and one Pentecostal. They paddled in the middle of the lake, and just before they put down their anchor, the Anglican said, "Friends, I forgot my fishing rod. I'll go get it." So he stepped out of the boat, walked on water, took his fishing rod by the lakeside, and returned to the boat. The Pentecostal was amazed. "I thought the Anglicans do not have faith, but he can walk on water." A few hours later, the Lutheran said, "Brothers, I forgot my lunchbox. I'll go get it." So he stepped out of the boat, walked on water, took his lunchbox by the lakeside, and returned to the boat. The Pentecostal was flabbergasted. "If they can walk on water, I can too, because I am a Pentecostal, and I'm led by the Spirit." So he said, "Brethren, I forgot my Bible, and I need it while I'm waiting for the fish to bite. So I'll go get it." So he stepped out of the boat and splashed. He went straight into the water. He hurried, got up to the boat, wet and embarrassed. So this time he closed his eyes and mustered enough faith and stepped out of the water again and splashed. He splashed down into the deep. And as he was trying to calm down himself from further embarrassment, the Lutheran said to the Anglican, "Father, can you tell him where the stepping stones are?" Life has its ups and downs, twists and turns, and sometimes we need stepping stones to keep us afloat in our life. We have moments of glory, we have moments of despair, we have moments of joy, we have moments of sadness, we have moments of success, and we have moments of failures. We have moments when our faith soars like an eagle, and we have also moments when our faith goes down the tube. So there are times when we simply do not need the stepping stones, but even mountains. And this is the story of the Transfiguration. the gospel we have today. 6 days before the Transfiguration, Peter had a revelation. Jesus asked the disciples, "Who do people say that I am?" And they replied, "Some say you are John the Baptist, others say you are Elijah or one of the prophets." Then Jesus said, "And you, who do you say that I am?" And Peter replied, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." And Jesus was so pleased, and he said, "Blessed are you, son of Jonah. Flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my Father in heaven." But then Jesus began to teach them that the Son of Man will go to Jerusalem, and there he will be rejected, he will be mocked, spat upon, and then he will be arrested and crucified, but on the third day he will rise again. We don't know if Peter heard the rising part, but the rejecting, the mocking, the crucifying was way too much to bear. So he said, "Lord, this shall not happen to you." Jesus got upset and turned to him. "Get thee behind me, Satan, for you are on the side of man and not of God." So at one moment, Peter got the highest rating. And another moment, he got a stinging rebuke. His head was spinning, like a circle in a spiral, like a wheel within a wheel. He was like in a roller coaster, and he was feeling dizzy. Now, ministers of the gospel, you and I, priests or lay people, when you are feeling dizzy like this, it's time for a retreat. So Jesus said, "Let's go up the mountain." Now, I have been to Israel and have rode up to Mount Tabor, where the Transfiguration of Jesus was supposed to have happened. There is a church there called the Church of Transfiguration in the site. But if you read the commentaries, there are biblical interpreters who argued that it was not in Mount Tabor, but it was in Mount Hermon that it happened, way away from Jerusalem. And another interpreter said, no, it did not happen in Tabor or Mount Hermon, but it was in the Mount of Olives, close to Jerusalem. Now, I have no patience with minute details, and I'm not really good in hair-splitting debates. But whatever mountain it was, Tabor, Hermon, Olives, or Grouse Mountain here in Vancouver, I don't really care. What I know, it happened in the mountain. And what happened in that mountain is so unforgettable that Peter and James and John speak about them most, if not all, of their lives. On that mountain, the appearance of Jesus changed from material to spiritual. The Greek words are two words, meta and morph, in which we derive our English word metamorphosis. In other words, Jesus' image has metamorphosized. The biblical writers describe it like a flash of a lightning, or a dazzling white as snow, or white, so white that no tide or whatever Mr. Tide can bleach. It is interpreted to be a resurrection body, a manifestation of the glory of God. Now, oftentimes you read on Facebook when there is somebody who died and people express their condolences, they will say, "May the soul of your loved one rest in peace and rise in glory." Some of us just say it, we do not fully understand. But what it means is that there is a Shekinah glory of God, the resurrection body. So Jesus is the fulfillment of the law and the prophets. You know, talking about prophets, I remember many of us priest here came from St. Andrew's Theological Seminary in Philippines. And we started my batch. We are the largest batch in seminary, St. Andrew's. It so happened that we have a German professor by the name of Dr. Puschmann. And his accent was so difficult for us Filipinos to understand. So we decided to have a group called Kaisahan to help one another understand Dr. Puschmann. There also learns the story that Dr. Puschmann at the finals would only ask one question, and that, who are the kings of Israel and the kings of Judah? When Israel becomes divided into two kingdoms. So all of us memorized the names of the kings of Israel and the kings of Judah, and did not study any other thing. Some word came to Dr. Puschmann that the grapevine, his students, are concentrating on the kings of Israel and the kings of Judah. So he changed his exam. And instead of saying, who are the kings of Israel and the kings of Judah, he said, who are the major prophets and the minor prophets? My God, we're in trouble. But one smart aleck who did not know that said these words, Dr. Puschmann, who am I to determine who are the major prophets and the minor prophets? Only God can determine the major and the minor prophets. But as for the kings of Israel and the kings of Judah, they are the most. Peter's heart was unable to comprehend. There was Moses, there was Elijah talking with Jesus, and he was filled with fear and awe. But the clouds enveloped them, and a voice from heaven. He heard, "This is my son, my beloved. Listen to him." Listen to what? Going down to the valley and entering Jerusalem. There he will be despised and rejected, mocked, spat upon, and crucified? No, still it shouldn't happen. It's just too wonderful to be on top of this mountain. So Lord, I'm going to build you 3 altars, 3 shrines, one for Moses, one for Elijah, and one for you. Let's not go down there in the mountain. I have always been fascinated by mountains. As a child, I climbed a couple of hills near our barrio in the Philippines. But there are mountains that I would rather just let them stay there. I could not understand why people had to risk their lives to climb the Himalayas, Mount Everest, and lost their lives and limbs to do that just for sheer adventure. But I remember in 1980 when I was a missionary in Singapore Anglican Church, and we had a retreat in Mount Kinabalu in Sabah. On our free time, we decided, some of us, to climb Mount Kinabalu, the only and probably the highest mountain in Sabah. Several of us went up, since we have a whole afternoon free time. And at the middle of the mountain, half of the group gave up and went down the camp. Only 4 of us continued to go up. But as we are nearing the top, suddenly there was a cloud that enveloped. Well, it's fog, It's fog, and we were afraid. Me and my companion, we were thinking, what if we finally get up there, but we don't anymore have strength to go down? So, because of that fear, we decided to also give it up and join the rest of the others trekking down to the path below. Only 2 decided to go up. So we arrived at the campsite, tired and weary. But what caught us by surprise was that the 2 who went up were already there. As a matter of fact, they already took a bath. They're feeling refreshed, talking to the people that, oh, how wonderful it was up there. We could see the whole Sabah, Borneo up there, Pacific Ocean. we were so surprised. And we asked the question, how come you're here? You went up and we went down. And this is the thing that they told us, which never escapes to me until now. When you saw the fog, the top was just a few meters up. And when we go up there, there was a cable car. We came down with the cable. I learned a valuable lesson from that. When you're climbing the mountain of your life, there will be clouds and fogs that will cover your view. Sometimes they will discourage or intimidate you. And it's easy to give up. It's easy to give up on your dreams. But don't be afraid. After every storm, there is a rainbow. After every cloud is a silver lining. And after the fog, there is a cable car. So back to Peter. His problem was not the lack of a cable car. His problem was that he does not want to go down. Like many of us, we like to live in La La Land. We like to live in Fantasy Island. We bet our lives in a lottery of life where we never win. We cast our vision on wishful thinking. We want a resurrection without crucifixion, glory without suffering, gain without pain. This is not the way of Jesus. For life in all its fullness is not in the height of success or the glory of our human achievements, but in the struggle to live life faithfully, even in the ordinariness of life. Mother Teresa said, we are not called to be successful. We are called to be faithful.